guys, if this is your first time to my channel, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Emily and today we are going to be talking all about the brand new Natasha Blush and Glow Mini Duo. So Natasha Denona has recently come out with a mini version of what seems to be her blush palettes that she came out with last year. Now, those blush palettes are $89. Granted, you do get 6 full-sized shades, but they're $89. And Lord knows I don't have $89 to be throwing at a blush palette that I'm going to reach for every so often, especially with the amount of blushes that I already have in my collection. So when she announced that she was coming out with these little baby guys right here, and these were only going to be $19, I just about pooped my pants, okay? I was so freaking excited. And if you have seen my pay or stay away from 2 weeks ago, which I will link in the cards, but if you've seen that, then you know what kind of fiasco I went through to get this and what happened. So it was definitely a journey to get this product, but once I did, I was extremely happy and very excited to use this. So a little background information on the Natasha Denona Blush and Glow Mini Duo here. It only comes in one shade, unfortunately, but I presume that if these do well, she may come out with more shades. This is $19 and it retails on Natasha Denona's website, Sephora, and Beautylish as well. You get 2 shades in this mini duo. You get one side, which is a sheeny blush that is a more kind of baby pinky coral shade, and you get a highlighter, which is a beigeish tan highlighter. You do get 4 grams of product in total, so a lot of people complained that this was going to be absolutely tiny. I guess one of the mini palettes that she had come out with before, the mini sunset palette, was minuscule and microscopic. So I think people thought that this was going to be the same situation, but these pans are actually pretty big, definitely bigger than your normal standard sized eyeshadow. And for Natasha Denona, I don't think these are very small at all for the price, especially because she is so damn expensive. So I don't think that she's trying to rip anyone off. I think that this is a decent amount of product for the price, for her quality of products. So I'm going to read you guys the Beautylish description of this product, what they have on the website, and how they describe it. So they describe this as a super soft formula that is lightweight, melts into the skin, and gives glass-like strobing effect due to its high concentration of crushed and milled chroma crystals mixed with crushed pearls. That's a lot for one tiny little product like this. I'm not entirely sure what the chroma crystal thing is all about. I know that Natasha uses that in her branding a lot, but Natasha Denona is cruelty-free and this product is paraben-free and talc-free. So I'm going to go ahead and get into a demo of the product on my cheeks here. As you can see, I do have my blush and highlight on today, and I did layer this up on my cheeks to show you guys the application process. So let's go ahead and hop right on into that. Okay guys, so today I'm going to be doing a demo of the Natasha Denona Duo Blush and Glow here, and if it looks like I have blush on one of my cheeks already, that is because I do. I went to look down at my audio and the darn thing was not recording me. As per usual, I am having difficulties with technology, but Mercury is in retrograde right now. I'm blaming it all on that, but I only applied the blush to one of my cheeks so far. This is just one application of the blush, so I'm going to go ahead and hop right back on in here. And I am taking the Sephora Angled Blush Brush here. It's in the number 50. And I'm just going to tap right into the product just as I did before. And let's go ahead and start patting this on the apples of the cheeks and sweeping it back towards my bronzer and my contour. And I have all of my makeup done other than my blush and my highlight. So here is what one application of the blush looks like. As you can see, it is like a corally pinky shade, but to me it leans a little bit more pink than coral, and there definitely is a nice gold sheen that runs through the blush that is noticeable on the cheeks, but it's not overwhelming and it's not too out there and it's not crazy, and to me it doesn't accentuate any texture. So I'm a huge fan of the blush. I've worn this many times, so this is not a first impression. This is just a demo of the product. But I'm going to go ahead and hop back in here, load the brush up, and tap off just a little bit. And let's go ahead and build the blush up here. And I am the kind of person that really likes a strong blush. What can I say? I like my clown cheeks. But I really like to focus the product on the apples of the cheeks, get that nice and rosy, and then sort of just bring it back to mesh it into the rest of my face makeup. Here we have 2 applications of the blush. It's a little bit more intense, a little bit more sheeny now, but to me it still doesn't look texturized and it doesn't look chunky or too shimmery or anything like that. This blush builds really nicely. It's definitely a buildable blush and I think it looks awesome. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and demo the highlighter now. So I always put a base down before I go in with my highlight because I do not wear foundation, and if I don't go in with something sticky beforehand, nothing will stick to my cheeks. So I always put something down onto my cheeks, whether it's a liquid highlighter, a balm highlighter. I always have something that I just kind of tap under the cheekbones. And today I'm going to be using this Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminator. This is just a little sample that I got from Sephora. I'm just going to take out a little tiny dollop, if you will. Like a dollop of sour cream. And I'm literally taking the tiniest amount because I don't like to put too much. I basically just want a kind of creamy base for the highlight to stick to, because I don't have that foundation layer underneath of my makeup, so there's nothing for the highlighter to really actually stick to. And I found that to be a problem in my makeup for a long time. I just found that my highlighter would fade all the time, no matter what I would do. And finally, I came across a video that informed me to put down a cream highlighter, and it will make the final highlight look really poppin' and really in your face. So there is the Josie Maran Illuminator on. As you can see, it's just a really super thin layer. I literally just want to use it as glue for the highlight that I'm putting on now. So let's go ahead and hop right on in to the highlight here. I am taking my Bdellium Tools 788 brush, and I'm just going to dip into the product, and I'm just starting to build up the highlighter on the cheekbones right over top of the Josie Maran liquid illuminator that I used. So there is one application of the highlight. As you can see, it's not the most strong and intense highlight in the world, but in just a few moments we'll go ahead and demo how it builds. And to really intensify the highlight, I am going in with the Morphe M501 highlighting brush. This is the highlighting brush that everyone on YouTube uses, but I'm going to go ahead and dip right into the highlight and just intensify it over the base that I put down. So let's go ahead and just pop it right over top of what we've already put on the cheeks and on the other side. So here is 2 layers of the product. As you can see, this is extremely buildable as well. I don't see any texture accentuated, and it looks very smooth and beautiful on the skin. But I want it to pop just a little bit more because I'm extra and I really like to have a blinding, super in-your-face highlight. So let's see if we can get it there. I'm going to dip right back into the highlighter here. And now I'm taking the Super Goop setting spray. I have it in this little Target 99-cent bottle because the sprayer on the Super Goop setting spray is the worst freaking thing in the entire world and will make you look like you have raindrops on your face, and it will squirt you in the eye and ruin your day. So I'm going to go ahead and just spray the brush down twice here. And let's see if we can intensify the Natasha Denona highlight. And that definitely intensified everything. And one more time, just for fun, I'm going to hop back into the blush and just re-intensify it on the apples of the cheeks where it may have lost some of its intensity due to the highlighter. Alright guys, there we have my application of 3 layers of the blush and the highlighter on my face. I really wanted to do 3 layers, this way you could see what it looks like when everything is nice and built up, but you could also see what it looks like upon 1 layer, like most people would probably use this product. But I am very dramatic with my makeup, and I really like out there, poppin' in your face makeup, so I think this product builds amazingly for something that is so shiny. Most shiny blushes and sheeny blushes tend to not really build that well because the more you put on, the more of the sparkle and the glow you see pop through, but you always risk being able to see your texture when you build up products on your cheeks especially. So the fact that these don't really accentuate any texture on me is very, very good and very promising, and just shows that Natasha really knows how to nail the formula. So now that you've seen what it looks like in action, I'm going to go ahead and compare this little guy to the other Natasha Denona blushes that I've tried. This is the Natasha Denona Duo Glow Blush in the shade Alba. This retails for $38 and you can buy it on Beautylish, Natasha Denona's website, and Sephora as well. In this product, you get 10 grams of product for the $38 price point. The product is cruelty-free, paraben-free, and is made in Italy, but is not talc-free like the Natasha Denona mini blush and highlighters are. So if you have one of these Natasha Denona Duo Glow powders, I believe she has 2 different shades, and I have the more peachy gold shade of the 2. So if you have one of these blushes, the Duo Glow blushes, this is not the same formula as the little mini duo is. These definitely have a lot more shimmer to them, and they're a lot more pigmented upon first application than the little mini duo is. These are supposed to be a duochrome effect blush. So on the Beautylish website, they are described as her typical chroma crystal highlighter mixed with her duochrome eyeshadows. Kind of does seem like that might be what's going on with this formula. It's very pigmented upon first application, and you really don't need to build this up more than maybe 2 layers. I would honestly really only apply 1 layer, and I'm someone who loves a very strong blush. So if you do have this in your collection and you were thinking that they are the same formula, they are not the same formula. This one doesn't look as smooth on the skin as the little mini duo blush does. Granted, this does still look very smooth on the skin because it's still a very finely milled, very creamy, very soft powder. But because of the extra sheen in this and the duochrome effect, it looks really cool on the cheeks, but it might emphasize texture a little bit more than the little mini duos do because it does have that cool duochrome effect. So that is the only Natasha Denona face product that I have to compare to the mini duo, but I do have some shades in my collection that I feel like are similar to the blush, and I have one highlighter that I think is kind of similar. Now these are not dupes by any means, these are just things that are the closest in my collection. This way you can see how the Natasha Denona colors compare to some of the other colors that are out there on the market. So the first blush that I have to show you guys here is Wet n Wild's Pearlescent Pink, and you will see in the swatches, but the Pearlescent Pink shade is a lot more warm toned, a little bit more peachy coral toned, but it does have a bit of a gold shimmer throughout the product. It's not nearly as smooth as the Natasha Denona product, and the sheen in the Pearlescent Pink shade isn't as noticeable and is not nearly as smooth as the Natasha Denona shade looks on the cheeks, but the color is kind of similar. It's not exact, but I figured it was close enough to show, but the colors are kind of similar. The Natasha Denona shade is a little bit more kind of cool toned baby pink, and the Pearlescent Pink shade is a lot more warm. The second shade that I have to show here is the shade Beloved by Nabla, and this shade is completely matte, so it's not going to have that nice golden sheen the Natasha Denona blush has, but the colors are pretty similar to me. Beloved is a little bit deeper in tone, but it has kind of that corally baby pink undertone, and to me it's not nearly as warm as the Pearlescent Pink by Wet n Wild shade was. So the colors to me are a little bit closer than the Wet n Wild shade, but Beloved is a lot deeper and is completely matte, so you're not going to get the same effect on the cheeks, but I still felt like the colors were close enough to mention. The only highlighter that I have in my collection that is even reminiscently close to the Natasha Denona highlighter here is the ABH and Amrezy highlighter. Now, the Amrezy highlighter is a lot more metallic, a lot more in your face. It has a golden undertone that the Natasha Denona highlighter doesn't have, but I honestly didn't really have a whole lot in my collection that even came close to the Natasha highlighter. I don't buy beigey kind of tan toned highlighters. I always go for something that's peachy gold or peachy pink or pink champagne. I never go for just the basic kind of your skin but better type of highlight. And this shade to me, the ABH and Amrezy highlight, kind of has that beigey undertone that the Natasha Denona highlight has, but the Amrezy highlight definitely has a bit more of a white gold happening here. But this was the closest shade that I had in my collection. You're also going to get a lot more of a metallic look with the ABH highlight versus the Natasha Denona highlight, which will give you more of a subtle sheen. but the ABH highlight does actually emphasize texture quite a bit more than the Natasha highlight. So you kind of always take that risk when you go for a metallic, wet looking highlight, because the more you pack on and the more intense it is, the more it's going to really accentuate the texture and the pores on your face. And I'm the kind of person where I'll take that risk to have a blinding pop-in highlight, but some people have a lot of texture on their cheeks, maybe some acne scarring, and they don't necessarily want something that's going to accentuate any of that. But those were all of the products in my collection that were the most similar to the Natasha Denona Mini Duo Blush and Glow. Now, like I said, those were not exact dupes at all by any means. Those were just what I have that to me was reminiscent of this guy right here. They were not exact dupes. I don't really have anything in my collection that exactly dupes this. To me, this is a very unique formula, and I really do enjoy this formula. And if she does come out with more of these little mini duos, you bet your butt I'm going to be buying more of them. I really, really hope that she brings out the deeper blush kit mini duo of this. The blush kit with the yellow toned highlighter, because that highlighter in itself caught my attention and really got me considering whether or not I should buy that kit. But I am very thankful that I didn't, because she came out with this, and this really satisfies my need to want to try those kits. I really do appreciate her bringing out these smaller items with less product for a lower price point, because now she's reaching a broader demographic than she was before. When she prices her items at these crazy high luxurious price tags, there is a demographic of people who will buy them. I was one of the people who bought the Sunset palette that was $129, but I didn't have the money to buy that, and I really should have not bought that, but I did anyway because of the hype. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of in the same boat as me, where they went out and bought this expensive ass palette, and now they're stuck with this palette that they like, but they're out $130. So I really appreciate her catering to people who don't want to spend that much money and who don't have the money to spend that. Now, granted, $19 is still kind of expensive, especially because you are getting a smaller product, but the formula is really renowned and really well known, and known for being really, really good and high-end. So it's kind of nice that there's a cheaper price tag for these high-end items. As far as the wear time goes for the blush and the highlight, I do find that I can get a full day's wear time out of both of these products. Now, I do always set my face with setting spray, which I actually have not done today, so I'll need to make sure to do that after this video. But I find that I can really get a full day's wear time out of both the blush and the highlight. And everyone always says how blush is the first thing that will fade on your face, and I'm sure that's true. I always apply so much blush that I don't really notice because I have so much freaking caked onto my face. But I do find that I can still very visibly see the blush on the apples of my cheeks at the end of the day, and I find that the highlight is still going pretty strong. Now, both of them do fade a little bit, but they fade very gracefully. They don't look patchy towards the end of the day. They still look smooth and nice and beautiful on the skin, and they still don't accentuate any texture after wearing off a little bit. For me, this formula really kind of hits it out of the ballpark. I find that it does not accentuate any of my texture, but it still looks very high shine. It looks very natural on the skin while still being very impactful, if you will. It's not so blinding that you're going to see this blush and highlight from outer space. Let's face it, that's not this kind of product. But you can still notice that I have highlight and blush on my cheeks, but it looks very natural, and it almost looks like it's a part of my skin, and I really didn't have to try very hard to get it to look this nice. The product basically did it on its own. I didn't really have to take any extra steps that I wouldn't normally do with a product like this. And I find that it just looks really beautiful and smooth on the skin. So I am a really big fan of the blush and highlighter mini duo. The only critique that I have about the highlighter itself is that I'm just not the biggest fan of the shade of the highlighter. I feel like this type of shade would kind of reach a broad demographic of skin tones. I feel like this color would work for you if you are of a lighter skin tone to a medium or deeper skin tone, but I don't think this would work for you if you have really light skin, like super light skin, or if you are deep dark and have deeper skin. But I do think that this would reach a decent amount of skin tones. Obviously, it's not going to reach every skin tone, and I do feel like she should come out with more of these for more skin tones. And I would buy them and review them. So I hope that she does really expand the idea of these little mini blush and glows, because I want to buy more. But that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this review and I hope that you found it helpful. And if you've already tried out this little blush and glow duo and you absolutely love it, let me know. And if you've tried it out and you don't like it for a certain reason, let me know as well. I'm really curious to see how people enjoy this product because I haven't seen any reviews on it. I mean, this is a relatively new product, but I haven't seen one single person do a review on this, and I know they're out there somewhere, but I haven't seen it pop up on my personal subscription feed. So I'm really curious to know how other people are feeling about it. I do hope that you consider subscribing. I am doing all sorts of makeup goodness on this channel every single week, and I have all sorts of good makeup videos coming up for you very soon. So if you are not already subscribed and you would like to be, I would love to see you hit that button down below. I hope you are having an absolutely amazing day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye!